Hello everyone, this is Khalil Musa and I'm here to help you to explore the amazing topic in your life. Just keep in your mind, you can understand every single information, just keep trying. Have you ever wondered what you and a tree might have in common? It might seem like a peculiar question, but let's embark on a journey that will unravel the answer. Our journey begins with the concept of cells. Imagine them as the building blocks of life, tiny architects creating the blueprints for every living organism we see around us. Yes, that includes you, me, the tree outside your window, the pet you adore, and even the plants adorning your living room. Cells are the microscopic structures that make up all living things. They're like tiny factories, each buzzing with activity, working around the clock to keep the organism alive and functioning. Now let's dive a little into the components of these fascinating structures. Picture a cell as a fortified city, its perimeter guarded by the cell membrane. This protective layer controls what enters and leaves the city, ensuring a balanced environment inside. Within the city, the cytoplasm is like the bustling streets filled with various structures or organelles, each performing their specific tasks. It's a busy metropolis where the hustle and bustle never cease. Now in every city there's a central command, a place where the important decisions are made. In the cell, this role is played by the nucleus. It's the brain of the cell, controlling its activities and storing the genetic material, DNA, that determines the characteristics of the organism. And here's the intriguing part. These basic components are found in both plant and animal cells. That's right, the cells in your body and those in a tree have more in common than you might think. But while there are similarities, there are also differences, and these differences are what make a tree, well, a tree, and you, well, you. Each type of cell is uniquely equipped to fulfill its role within the organism. Intrigued? Let's delve deeper into the differences and similarities between plant and animal cells. Let's unravel the mysteries of these microscopic marvels that are the very essence of life as we know it. Alright, it's time for a quick quiz. Before we delve deeper into the world of plant and animal cells, let's see how much you've grasped from our introduction. Don't worry, this will be a fun exercise to test your knowledge and prepare you for the more detailed exploration that lies ahead. Question 1. Can you name the three main components of a cell that we've discussed? Remember, we likened a cell to a fortified city. What were the city walls, the bustling streets, and the central command? Question 2. We mentioned that while plant and animal cells have many similarities, they also have some key differences. Can you think of one major difference between the two? Question 3. We briefly touched upon the function of the cell wall in plant cells. Can you recall what role it plays? Take a moment to ponder over these questions. You don't have to have all the answers right now. Keep these questions in mind as we continue our journey through the cellular universe. You might just find the answers as we explore further. Ready? Let's move on to the next chapter. Now, let's zoom in on the world of animal cells. Animal cells, like all cells, are the fundamental building blocks of life. But what sets them apart? What makes an animal cell distinctly animal? First off, one of the most noticeable differences is the lack of a rigid cell wall. This absence gives animal cells a bit more flexibility, allowing them to take on a variety of shapes and sizes, unlike their plant cell counterparts, which are typically more uniform. Speaking of size, let's talk about vacuoles. In an animal cell, vacuoles are generally smaller compared to those found in plant cells. These vacuoles are like little storage units holding onto water, nutrients, and waste products. They play a vital role in maintaining the cell's internal environment. Now let's move to the topic of mobility. Animal cells have the unique ability to move around. This is thanks to structures like flagella and cilia, which act like little propellers, pushing the cell through its environment. This mobility is crucial for many bodily functions, including immune response and tissue repair. And have you ever wondered how cells multiply? This is where centrioles come into play. These cylindrical structures, which are unique to animal cells, play a key role in cell division, helping to ensure that each new cell gets a complete set of genetic material. This process, known as mitosis, is fundamental to growth and healing in animal organisms. Animal cells are fascinating and complex structures, each one a tiny microcosm of life. They might not have the rigid order of plant cells or the photosynthetic capabilities, but they have their own unique characteristics that make them perfectly suited for their role in the animal kingdom. Knowing about animal cells sets the stage for our next topic, plant cells. And as we'll see, while there are many differences, there are also some interesting similarities. But that's a story for another episode. For now, let's marvel at the intricacy and wonder of animal cells, and the role they play in the grand scheme of life. Alright, we've taken a closer look at both animal and plant cells. Now it's your turn to show what you've learned. Ready for a quick quiz? Let's dive in. Question 1. What structures are unique to animal cells? Remember, we discussed structures that are specific to animal cells and impact their function. Question 2. What is the role of chloroplasts in plant cells? Think back to the unique features of plant cells. What was that special process they can perform, thanks to their chloroplasts? Question 3. How are plant and animal cells similar? Despite their differences, there are some key similarities between these two types of cells. Can you name a few? Great job! Whether you answered all the questions correctly or you found a few challenging, remember that every step in learning is a step forward. Keep your curiosity alive as we move on to our next section, where we'll delve deeper into the fascinating world of cells. Scene script. Ever wonder what makes a plant stand upright? Let's uncover the secrets of plant cells. Diving into this verdant world, we find ourselves surrounded by the unique features of plant cells. Unlike our animal cells, plant cells are encased in a rigid box, the cell wall. This cell wall is what gives a plant its structure, allowing it to reach towards the sun without wilting. This wall is made mostly of cellulose, a complex sugar, which provides both strength and flexibility. Inside this cell wall, we find larger vacuoles than those found in animal cells. Acting like a storage bin, these vacuoles hold water, nutrients, and waste products. They even contribute to the plant's growth, as they can expand, pushing against the cell wall and causing the plant cell to grow. But perhaps the most distinctive feature of plant cells is their chloroplasts. These little green machines are the heart of photosynthesis, the process that allows plants to transform sunlight into food. Chloroplasts, filled with a green pigment called chlorophyll, absorb light energy and combine it with water and carbon dioxide to create glucose, a type of sugar that plants use for energy. This process of photosynthesis is not just vital for plants, it's also essential for us, animals. It's the oxygen released during photosynthesis that fills our lungs and keeps us alive. So every time you take a deep breath, remember to thank a plant cell. Now you might have noticed that plant cells, unlike animal cells, have a pretty fixed shape. This is due to the rigid cell wall we talked about earlier. While animal cells can change shape and move around, plant cells are stuck in place. But don't feel too bad for them. This fixed shape is what allows plants to grow tall and strong, reaching towards the sun to capture more light for photosynthesis. With this understanding of plant cells, we can now compare them with their animal counterparts. Alright, now that we've unlocked the secrets of plant cells, let's take a moment to appreciate how these tiny structures affect our lives. Without cells, there would be no life as we know it. Every organism, from the tiniest bacteria to the largest whale, is made up of cells. These cells are constantly working, carrying out the processes that keep us alive and healthy. But cells are not just the building blocks of life. They are also the key to understanding many of the world's biggest challenges. In medicine, for instance, researchers study cells to understand diseases and develop new treatments. By looking at how cells behave in the body, scientists can identify what goes wrong in diseases like cancer and find ways to correct it. Cells are also crucial in environmental science. By studying how cells respond to changes in their environment, scientists can learn about the impacts of climate change and pollution. They can also use this knowledge to develop solutions to these problems, such as new ways to clean up pollution or methods to help plants and animals adapt to changing conditions. So, whether you're interested in medicine, environmental science, or just curious about the world around you, understanding cells can open up a whole new world of possibilities. Join us in the next scene as we compare plant and animal cells and delve deeper into the fascinating world of cellular biology. So, what sets apart a plant cell from an animal cell? Let's dive right in. Both plant and animal cells share some common features. For instance, they both have a nucleus, which is like the control center of the cell. It contains DNA, the blueprint for the cell's function and growth. Another shared feature is the presence of mitochondria, the powerhouses of the cell, producing energy to fuel all cellular activities. And let's not forget the endoplasmic reticulum, a network of tubes facilitating protein and lipid synthesis. But as much as they are alike, plant and animal cells also have their unique attributes. Let's start with plant cells. They have a rigid cell wall that surrounds the cell membrane, providing additional support and protection. This is why plants can stand tall and withstand the elements. And then there are chloroplasts, the photosynthesis factories, turning sunlight into energy and giving plants their green hue. On the other hand, animal cells lack these features. No cell wall means these cells are flexible, allowing for a variety of shapes and functions, from the spherical red blood cells to the long thread-like nerve cells, and without chloroplasts, animal cells have to rely on food intake for energy. But here's something peculiar to animal cells: centrioles. These cylindrical structures play a key role in cell division, helping to organize the chromosomes. Plant cells, however, manage cell division without these structures. So there you have it. Though plant and animal cells share basic components like the nucleus, mitochondria, and endoplasmic reticulum, they differ in some significant ways. The cell wall and chloroplasts are exclusive to plant cells, giving them the ability to photosynthesize and maintain rigidity. Animal cells, on the other hand, have centrioles and the flexibility offered by the absence of a cell wall. Isn't it fascinating how these tiny structures can be so similar and yet so distinct? So why should we care about understanding plant and animal cells, you may ask? Well, the answer is quite fascinating. Cells, despite their microscopic size, hold the key to understanding life itself. They are the foundation of all life processes, and their intricate workings give us a glimpse into the marvels of nature and biology. Delving into the world of cells opens up a realm of possibilities in various fields. Take biotechnology, for instance. The manipulation of cells, particularly at the genetic level, has led to revolutionary advancements. From enhancing crop yield to developing genetically modified organisms, the knowledge of cells plays a pivotal role. In the field of medicine, the importance of understanding cells cannot be overstated. Cells are at the heart of everything from disease diagnosis to the development of treatments and cures. When we comprehend the cellular processes that lead to disease, we can design targeted therapies. For example, the understanding of how cancer cells multiply has been instrumental in developing treatments that specifically target these rogue cells. In environmental science, cells give us insight into how organisms interact with their environment, adapt, and evolve. They help us understand the impacts of environmental changes on organisms, which is critical in the face of global climate change. Understanding cells also helps us appreciate the diversity of life. Each organism, from the smallest bacterium to the largest whale, is made up of cells. While they may share some similarities, the differences in their cellular structures and functions contribute to the vast biodiversity we observe. So the next time you look at a leaf or watch a bird in flight, remember that beneath the surface, trillions of cells are working in harmony, making life possible. As we can see, cells are not just microscopic structures, they are the building blocks of life, shaping the world as we know it. From the food we eat to the air we breathe, everything is interconnected at a cellular level. And understanding this not only enriches our knowledge but also deepens our respect for the intricate tapestry of life.